All right. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I'm gonna just test my audio real quick before I start. I've been wanting to do this uh, presentation because it's really important. It's really important. Okay, perfect. Okay, I got my audio in. I see it's like a 5 second delay. Anyway, all right. So I woke up extra early this morning so I could do this. This is my me time. This is my me time. So I got my chai, and you can see the topic. The topic is that if people cared about immigrants, they would tell them to leave. If immigrants care, I mean, if people care, and particularly the Democrats, if the Democrats cared about immigrants, they would tell them to leave. So I have a couple of clips I'm going to try to play. I'm learning a little bit at a time. Be patient with. But what I found out early on Trump, when he first came into office, I think it was 3 days after that. So you could tell there was a plan that was laid. The private prison industrial complex had a surge of economic activity. The investors went wild. As you know, with the big, beautiful bill, there's $170 billion to be spent. What I'm saying is there is a plan that's laid. And just like COVID, I would assume that there are both Democrats and Republicans, two wings of the same bird, that are highly invested in making profit. So think about this. If you have Democrats at the highest level who are investors in private prisons, and these private prisons are going to be funded and make profit off of this new immigrant deportation prison industrial complex. If the highest level Democrats are invested in that, chasing profits as they do, they wouldn't be there if they weren't chasing profits. If they're invested, do you really think that they would sabotage themselves and their investment by warning immigrants? If the Democrats are highly invested at the highest levels in the deportation prison industrial complex and they intend to make profit off of jailing and transporting contracts and otherwise, do you think they would sabotage their own profits? That's a very, very important conversation. I know there's been legislation that said that they intend to do two things with Congress to find out how they're investing money. And I think there's a website that does track that, how they invest their money, where they put it, so we can kind of see what their motives are and also where they get their donations from. Follow the money. So if we're waiting on Democrats, if we're waiting on Democrats, the Democratic Party, its leadership, like Chuck Schumer, you know, a lot of these people, that's why they're silent. They're going to make money. They have set it up to make money, I guarantee you. So they're not going to be the mechanism that warns these illegal immigrants. They won't be it. They're going to profit from it. The prison industrial complex, the private prisons, they literally exploded with investment several days after Trump got elected. All this is part of the plan. We know about Project 2025. So what I'm saying to you is they are going to create a whole, you know how we have a, what is it? The what do we have? The agricultural revolution. We had the industrial revolution. We've seen the information age technology revolution. And the next revolution is going to be a combination. Now look at how crazy that is of all four. It's going to be the fourth wave. It's going to be a combination of all three to make a fourth. This revolution is going to combine slavery of an agricultural nature, industry, manufacturing, free labor, factory, private prisons, convict leasing, and the technological revolution, right? Information. They're going to use the information, the technology, to control the whole project. So we're bringing together three things: agriculture, factory, industry, and manufacturing. Who said they were going to be bringing back? Did Trump not say, I am going to bring back manufacturing? Did he not say he was going to do that? Have we seen him finance any real manufacturers? A plan that we can actually see? No, not at all. It's going the manufacturing he's going to bring back is going to be leasing, convict leasing, selling free labor from these private immigration deportation centers, leasing them out and making them work as slaves for free to do manufacturing. Y'all understand? I'm seeing the web. I'm listening to what this man says. He said he's going to bring back manufacturing. He didn't really say he was going to bring back manufacturing jobs. He said he's going to bring back manufacturing. Okay. And we know we got all these farmers out here. We know the rich have invested deeply. Y'all remember when Bill Gates started buying up land, all that land? They started buying up a whole bunch of just random farmland. Who's going to work that land? Who's going to work all that land? That ready to till soil. Who's going to work that land? They have got a diabolical plan being laid out in front of us. And we're so caught up with the left right paradigm and everybody wanting to be right. My team wins. My team wins. Y'all, this ain't the NFL. This is real life. They're setting up a system right before our eyes. And it's a system that once it's invested and once it's churning and moving, it's not going to stop. The Democrats, they're invested. They don't want to stop this. They're going to make money. The Republicans, they don't want this to stop between their racism and their desire to make money. And once they make it something that the average everyday person can benefit from, the buy-in will be there. This will be part of American culture. Think about America like this at this point. If you have a whole bunch of, let's just say, eaters, right? You have a whole bunch of hungry people. We'll call them eaters. You got a whole bunch of hungry people. And your problem is you just can't seem to stop them from coming because you have a feast at all times. You've got a plethora of food, and everybody smells the cheese and they smell the bread and they smell the fruit. They smell the meat, the barbecue. Everybody wants to come to the feast. There's so much to eat. It's so much. It's plenteous, right? So it becomes a trap. You have all these eaters. They keep coming, trying to, come sit at the table, trying to grab a plate. And everybody who's created the feast is looking like, who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing? This is our feast. And then you get so many eaters just eating, eating, eating. And everybody says, wow, how do we get them away from the table? Right? Too many eaters, too many eaters. They're coming from everywhere. Think about that. That's America. They just keep coming and coming and coming. And then one party says, invite everybody, right? Everybody eats free. And then somebody says, you know what? We can turn this into something else. We can turn this into something else. How about all the people that we invite who come to eat for free? How about we direct them somewhere else? Let's direct them to the farms and to the industry where they can actually work the soil, right? Raise the chickens, work on the farm. They can actually produce more as workers. Invite them to eat, and then we'll bait and switch and we'll put them to work so we can have a greater feast. When I had this squirrel problem, that was one of the first things I thought. I said, this nigga loves nuts. He loves nuts. So I went on Amazon and I bought a trap. And I filled the trap, the inside of it, with nuts and apples and shit. He could smell cheese and stuff like that. Hoping that he would be so greedy and hungry for his nuts that he would go on in there and I could trap him. It's not a strange concept, right? Bait and trap. And I submit to you that maybe, just maybe at this point in time, the solution that the powers that be, who always seek profit, maybe, just maybe, this is at this point a trap. You've got a huge population of undocumented people, and they've just been eating, eating, eating. And now the tides have turned. Now the tides have turned. What looks like a blessing has turned into something else. You got to understand, these demons are always chasing profit. We're talking about, let me get to the point. We're talking about a nation full of more than probably 50 million undocumented, out of status immigrants. Do you see how much profit that is? Let me look it up real quick. I want to make sure I'm correct. Some people, they have different numbers. I'm gonna look it up real fast. Okay, so let's say US undocumented immigrants. Let's look it up. Let me look up how many undocumented. mm, it says the countries of origin are Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, India, and Venezuela. Hmm. The highest undocumented states are California, Texas, Florida, New Jersey, New York, and Illinois. That's interesting. So Chicago, California, they're using documentation. That means they're using. Let me see, because I feel like it's more than this. It's more than this. This is incorrect. It's saying it's saying 14 million. I think it's. I've seen numbers more than that. Let me look. Undocumented. Okay, well, I'm seeing several. Okay. Because see, they're saying each year 11 million came, 3 million came. I'm like, what does that add up to? So it's saying that, oh, wow. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And it's saying 52%. Okay, so I can't get these numbers right. Okay, this is all, we're all, go ahead, this is all immigrants. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, this is what I had seen. It says as of June 2025, 51.9 million immigrants lived in the United States. Okay, that's a total number, making up 15% of the nation's population. All right, that's where I get. I'm like, I know I got 50,000 in my head. Okay, and so out of the 50,000, it looks as if 14 million are undocumented. Yeah, we got 51.9 million immigrants living in the United States. Okay. And so it looks like about 14 million are undocumented. Okay. So those are official numbers based on Pew Research, as well as the AI check I got, which was from, let me look, I like to look at the statistics. And then we also have, so we got the Pew Research Center. And then where is this? This doesn't say, this AI does not cite, well, maybe it does. Hold on. Mm-hmm. The ILR school. So it's site, okay, Homeland Security. There we go. And it says 1.6 million illegal aliens have left. Let me look at Homeland Security real quick. That's important. Okay, so they said at the height they had 15.8 million illegal immigrants here in the United States. At this time, they believe they have 14.2 illegal immigrants. They said that 1.6 illegal immigrants have left the United States through deportation or self deportation, according to Christy Nome. Okay, good, good. All right, so we got the numbers correct between Homeland Security and Pew Research. All right. And we'll have to go with Homeland Security because I think that they probably have the most accurate data, at least what they're willing to say their data is. So back to the original point, you got 14 million people here, okay? And 51 million. So I guess that's what, 35, 36 something is in legal status. But we have 14% who are illegal, undocumented, out of status. And they're not allowing really any new immigrants to come. So this is a set population that's kind of trapped in a way. In a way, same way slavery, right? Same way for slavery. You have this set population. They stopped importing slaves. So they relied on those slaves to procreate, to create a newer population of slaves. Pay attention. If people really cared about immigrants, they would be highlighting this. Okay. There would be a full blown campaign to tell these people to save themselves, to educate these people in their own language about the dangers that they're going to face. They're hiding in plain sight the plan, especially the Democrats. I'm telling y'all, these people, just like COVID, they were deeply invested in all the panic and craziness. They were invested in the pharmaceuticals. They were invested in the gloves and the companies that have medical, equipment. They were invested in the actual pharmaceutical company. This is why they collectively mandated the COVID vaccine. And we're finding out now it was all a joke. Let COVID and the investment of our government and the mandating of our government be your guide to understand how deep this goes. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show the screen. And the reason why I'm showing this screen is because I'm going to call it the deportation prison industrial complex. This is going to become a new form of slavery. And while people are arguing about who's right and who's wrong, and we love this, people want to chant, they want to be self righteous. We're not going to tell them to leave. We don't want them to leave. This is America. It sounds really good, but in the meantime, between ICE and Border Patrol and the National Guard and the government, who's operating in coordination with the FBI and every agency, the force and might of the United States is behind this profit program. Let me say that again. The might and power and money of the entire United States is supporting and invested in the profiteering of this prison project. America has a new slave class. And to not warn these people, to not tell them, drop your shit like Babylon, leave, and do not look behind you. To do anything other than that is cruel. And I'm going to tell you why. Your chants, your banners, your posts on the internet, your writing to your senators, it means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. Because when ICE and the might of the United States government and all of its support in this hard laid plan, when that comes for these individual people, they will be powerless. Your chants mean nothing. Your self righteousness means nothing. The most important thing at this time is to tell these people the truth. Ideally, we would be flooding their communities, those of us who say we care. The Democrats, right? Not trying to just be right, because being right is not going to stop the machine. We're talking about the powers that be have millions and millions and almost billions of dollars invested. This is not going to stop. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm in just the state of Georgia. This is not even a state that is considered one of the highest. Texas, California, right? New York City, and Chicago, right? Those are documented as the high points, the places of interest where they can get the most undocumented people, right? Those are the states. But you're going to see that in lots of states, they're building the infrastructure, y'all. These people need to be running for their lives, for their dignity, for their freedom. They are creating a new slave class. Nobody wants to talk about that part. They just want to show people, white people running around saying, hey, black people, why don't you care? That's all they want to do. Nobody wants to actually see the humanity of the immigrants, these undocumented people. Let me show you. Add to stage. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate here. Let me see. Let me go back. Okay, I'm going to navigate here and I'm going to show you this.
And I'm Sharon Lawson.
Check it out.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon Lawson, and we start this evening with new data tracking immigration and customs enforcement arrests across the United States. CBS News obtained documents showing ICE made roughly 393,000 arrests from President Trump's inauguration last year through January 31st this year, 2026. Now, here in Georgia, there is pushback over a new ICE facility in Social Circle. The city says ICE purchased the facility on Hightower Trail, and it could open as early as April as a detention center. Our Brian Unger is hearing from that community about the controversial space.
Of the half dozen residents we spoke to who declined to appear on camera, even among supporters of the administration, people are opposed to this detention center, which reportedly will hold
Fair
up to
use, fair use,
10,000
fair
detainees.
use.
That's more than twice the entire population of Social Circle. Nearly everyone disapproves of this detention facility because of its proximity to a brand new elementary school, which is less than 1 mile from here. Rick Bird, an architect who designed warehouses like this one and who works with an opposition group called Indivisible, says the building isn't equipped to accommodate such a large detainee population as soon as April.
It's a question of how humanely do you want to treat the people that you're dealing with.
According to Homeland Security documents obtained by CBS News, nearly 40% of those arrested did not have any criminal record at all. They were only accused of civil immigration offenses. We asked Bird if a warehouse without individual cells and bathrooms is suitable for detainees who are not accused of violent crimes.
They're asking me if I would house the young guy who came to our house 6 months ago. He did an incredible job of painting our house, gave us an incredibly fair price, talked about his young family, happened to be from Venezuela. If you're asking me, would I put him in that facility? Absolutely not.
Bird has been leading an opposition group since January, working alongside people of different political stripes, all united in opposition to this new ICE facility.
Is it a not in my backyard issue? Is it a philosophical issue? How would you characterize how the opposition breaks down?
Well, I would say certainly all of the above. There are people in this town who I'm sure support what ICE is doing. There are people who are against what ICE is doing. But this has managed to bring everybody together.
Another top concern we heard from residents of Social Circle is this: where are all of the employees at this proposed detention center going to live? Because there is limited housing here in this small town of 5,000. And most of all, folks who live here do not appreciate being the focus of the political limelight.
Okay, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to show something else. So, what I just showed is a place called Social Circle. Social Circle is near and dear to my heart. I am a Georgia born, Georgia loving person. I'm proud of being Southern. And Social Circle is a small town off of I 20. My family and I have a tradition in Social Circle. Every major celebration, for the most part, over the years since I was a child, my family on my mother's side, we always go to Social Circle. They have this very, very beautiful place. It's this very elegant old Southern restaurant called the Blue Willow. And I will forever remember many, many celebration from our family there. That is our, if I had to say, our legacy tradition in our family of where we go as a family and have a very important formal dinners. That would be the Blue Willow. And I'm not alone. A lot of Southern families, they travel to Social Circle and enjoy the same Thanksgivings and all kinds of Christmas time. It's a big tradition for a lot of Southern families of all races. Um, Blue Willow it's an important part of Georgia culture, I would say. And this is in Social Circle. This is why a lot of people know Social Circle. Those who know about this Blue Willow restaurant, they travel there. So Social Circle is part of my own Southern history. And to know that they are putting and placing, it's a very small town. Like they said, they only have 5,000 people. It's very tiny. Um, It's a problem. The federal government is impeding on these rural people, okay? And not everybody rural is not fucking retarded, too. I have to say that. There's this, assumption that rural people are fucking dumb. Now they got plenty of them, but there are plenty of intelligent southern rural people, okay? And what is happening is the United States government is buying these facilities outright cash. I want y'all to hear that. This shit is bought. It's a done deal. It's happening. And you got white folks who are saying, hey, how can you put 10,000 people in that warehouse in a humane way? What about the plumbing? Do you think they give a fuck? Do you think they give a fuck? This man just talked about an individual as a person. He said, I had a young man who came and painted my house, an undocumented person. He admitted it, who came and painted my house. I do not want to see somebody like him placed in a facility like this. He said the man had a family, a child. Now, take that situation. I'm going to show you something else. They have already in Georgia bought at least 4 properties, okay? This is just Georgia. That's one. Here goes another one.
Imagine being able to build an app
Here
with your
goes
name on
another
it
one.
just by thinking
Let me see
about
if I can skip
Meet
this.
Base 44, a complete.
Well, first, Social Circle, now Oakwood. Officials in Hall County say they have been blindsided by the federal government after learning a local warehouse could soon become an ICE detention center. And now they are worried the city's infrastructure just can't handle the load. Our Brian Unger is in Oakwood with more.
We're just about a mile from Oakwood City Hall, and this is the warehouse that will soon become an ICE detention facility. It's over 600,000 square feet, comprised of 2 buildings, and will hold approximately 1,500 detainees. But the number that has officials here most concerned is the number 3. That's how many days ago they found out that this facility would be opening.
We haven't received anything official from any agency or department with the federal government.
B.R. White is Oakwood's city manager. He says the city of 7,000 residents wasn't notified by ICE in writing, not even by phone, that this detention center would operate in the very city he manages. It was a call from Representative Andrew Clyde's office that put White on notice.
It feels like we were blindsided and that we've been steamrolled over.
White is urgently shifting into planning for the arrival of Oakwood's newest neighbor. And more traffic, even protests. Meanwhile, city officials are hearing scant support for the facility. So you're not hearing from residents saying, hey, we like this idea?
No.
But among the folks we met at this shopping center, what about this detention center, though, in the middle of your town? Did you know about it?
Yes,
I did know about it. Are you okay with it?
I am perfectly fine with it. Why would I not be? I'm not a liberal.
In a statement to CBS News Atlanta, an ICE spokesperson responded to our inquiry with a question. Is it really news that when a federal agency hires more personnel, that they need more space? In Oakwood,
I 100% support ICE.
you support this facility that's
and I
coming
support this facility.
Another critical issue facing authorities here in Oakwood has to do with infrastructure. A building like this, once inhabited, could produce up to 50 to 60,000 gallons of sewage per day. And for a town with no sewage treatment plant, that's a big deal.
Welcome back. A bipartisan bill.
All right. So we see in how they are enacting their will upon the people who live
Well,
there.
first, Social
right?
Circle, now Oakwood.
We're seeing that.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sharon Long.
We're seeing that. They don't care about the infrastructure. They don't care about the humanity of people. They don't care about how it's going to affect the local people. They're not concerned at all.
Well,
right, that's one of them.
Welcome back. Advocates for immigrant rights protested outside of the ICE field office in downtown. Welcome back. Advocates for immigrant rights protested outside of the ICE field office in downtown Atlanta today.
The group opposes the agency's plan to expand an ICE facility in Charlton County in South Georgia. If approved, it would become one of the largest detention facilities for ICE in the country. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes joins us live with more on the controversy. Deidre?
Courtney, would become the largest ICE facility in the country because it would be able to hold double the number of detainees that it currently holds, about 1,100 right now. But if ICE officials have their way, they could hold up to 3,000 there at that facility. But opponents said today that it is plagued by problems. They want it shut down.
The immigrants united will never be defeated. The immigrants united.
5 hours north of Charlton County, protesters.
Okay, I'm going to talk to y'all about the one in Gainesville. Let me see. Let me type in Gainesville. This one is a scary one. I care because I live in Georgia and I don't want my taxpayer dollars going towards turning these people into let me see, Gainesville, Georgia.
We reached out.
I wish this thing would be quiet until I click it.
Outrage tonight over conditions inside Georgia's ICE detention facilities from South Georgia to right here in Atlanta.
Atlanta News First reporter.
New outrage tonight over conditions inside Georgia's ICE detention facilities from South Georgia to right here in Atlanta.
Atlanta News First reporter Abby Kasouris explains families, attorneys, and some members of Congress say immigrants are being kept in what they are describing as dangerous and deplorable conditions.
Georgia has one of the highest numbers of ICE detention beds in the country. Advocates calling for immediate federal intervention for what they're calling inhumane and dangerous conditions.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mildred Pierre.
Mildred Pierre says her fiance, Rodney Taylor, a double amputee, is deteriorating inside Stewart. They'd only just started planning a future together, and now she fears she could lose him.
I fear he can die.
Taylor was detained for a crime the state pardoned more than a decade ago. He's been in ICE custody nearly a year, waiting for a judge's decision. Pierre says he spent days immobile without power for his prosthetics, and that detainees sleep on floors, go without food, and use showers as toilets, calling it unjust torture and medical neglect.
Shower area was covered in mold, feces, urine, human bodily fluids. Rodney had to crawl on his hand and his limbs through those conditions just to take a shower.
Pierre says she's fighting for Rodney's life and for every person held in Georgia's ICE facility. She traveled to Washington pleading with lawmakers as they push for the Dignity for Detained Immigrants Act, a bill aimed at raising detention standards and reducing private contracts, including here in Georgia.
He cannot be here to speak for himself, so here I am.
At the hearing, Georgia Congresswoman Nikema Williams says the problems aren't limited to South Georgia. She says seniors, pregnant women, and even minors have been kept inside of Atlanta's field office for days, even though it has no beds, no showers, and no holding cells.
The Department of Homeland Security, to nobody's surprise, has not responded to these questions and has not even acknowledged my request to come and do a visit.
We've asked the Department of Homeland Security for a response to these allegations, but we have not heard back. According to their website, though, they say that they have a robust and multi-level oversight program to maintain certain standards of detention. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasouris.
Y'all see this? Y'all see this? These people don't have to answer.
New outrage tonight over conditions inside Georgia.
What we're seeing is medical neglect. Okay, we're seeing pregnant women and all kinds of people. Here's another one. Y'all understand Geo? This is one of the companies that is heavy into
Immigration
profits.
and
Here we go.
Customs Enforcement Processing
This is the
Center
profit.
in Folkestone, Georgia, set to nearly double in size. A new agreement between the federal government and a private prison company will turn a nearby prison into an additional holding space for detainees, adding thousands of beds to the ICE facility. WSAV's Christine Quayle is live in Folkestone with a look at what this expansion could mean for people detained by ICE.
Yes, Tina. So the prison that you see behind me is just steps away from an ICE processing center right down the road that way. But now the prison is going to be contracted to the processing center, meaning that people detained by ICE will be housed here, and it'll add thousands of beds to the facility. Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement Processing Center, different than detention center in name only. The processing center in Folkestone has a barbed wire fence outside the facility, and people can be held there for months or years.
They're going to be brought together, and when they come together, some of it will be a detention center, some of it will be a processing center, some of it, will be just for them to get ready to transfer.
Now, this facility is going to double in size because the prison that's just down the road has been contracted to the federal government as an add-on.
They are retrofitting a federal prison into a detention center, and they don't really make that many changes. So people who are detained by ICE are experiencing prison conditions.
According to GEO, the corporation that owns the prison, the transfer went through to ICE on June 6th.
I've been to visit that facility before, and I will tell you, the company that runs it does a good job.
Though advocates say this could be unfortunate for those who will be detained there, with reports of
physical abuse, emotional abuse, and there was even one death of a detained person that ICE found was partly caused by medical neglect at the facility.
Recent ICE enforcement operations here in the Savannah area calls for concern among locals about being sent to the new facility, like in Statesboro last week.
One of them was sent to Folkestone, and essentially they've conveyed that they essentially believe that they're in prison. All the while, they are less than 2 hours away from the closest.
I want y'all to pay attention to GEO, G-E-O. This is a brand, like Walmart is a brand. This is a brand of private prisons. These people, anybody who's invested in GEO, there's another company, I forgot the name of it. These are the people who are going to make all of that 170 billion of dollars that's available. They're going to make a huge chunk of it. And anybody who's invested in GEO, who's invested in GEO in Congress? Y'all see that representative that was just there on the screen? I bet you he's an investor. All these people co-signing, I bet you they're invested in GEO. I bet you they are. Think about that. You buy the stock low, right when Trump came into office, you bought your shit $10 a share, all that money invested, you bought all your shares at $10, right? And now I wish I knew stocks well. I would look at it now and see how it exploded. I'm too ignorant to even pretend like I would know what I'm looking at. All I can follow is the chart, right? I know how to follow the chart. But I guarantee you GEO has had explosive. I've seen the analysis in the news of how the private prisons have exploded with investment immediately afterwards. I wonder what their value in those stocks are now. $10 turned into what? $10 a share turned into what? $50 a share now? $100 a share now? Where is it? In less than a year. These people are in it to win it. You got all these Democrats co-signing, all these mayors talking about they didn't know, the federal government didn't talk to us. Okay, bullshit. I call bullshit. You know why I call bullshit? Because all construction requires some kind of local ordinance. What do you call it? Building permits. You got to go through the local people, unless this federal government is just going fucking rogue. Last time I checked, before you put a hammer to a nail, you're supposed to go to the local people and get building and inspections and building permits, and you got to make sure that you know where the fucking lines are before you dig. There's a lot of shit to be done. They are transforming spaces. They're turning schools into old schools. They're turning any fucking building that ain't occupied in Georgia. They are turning everything they can in the state of Georgia right beneath our eyes. Atlanta, Savannah, all these surrounding territories. South Georgia, North Georgia, they have gone to Gainesville, Georgia, and they are setting up a facility for children. Children. Let me go back. And what did they say? They are not having any health, doctors, medical facilities, emergency medical facilities. They're not investing in anything that's life sustaining for these people. They don't give a fuck about the sewage, the dirtiness, the hygiene of these people, how much water it takes to have this many people bathe every day, because they're not going to have them bathe every day. Do y'all understand? They don't care if you shit in a corner. You're trapped, you're locked in. Nobody's coming in to check on you. Nobody's regulating anything. Nobody gives a fuck. It ain't nobody finna come up in here and regulate nothing. We doing what we want to do. Now, they just came a story that they are investing in incinerators. Y'all hear that? Investing in incinerators. I don't know if incinerators are to get rid of human bodies that have died. I don't know if incinerators are to get rid of trash because they don't want to put trash into the environment. You know how much trash these little towns of 5,000 people, they don't have the manpower, the trucks to tolerate all the trash that's going to come out of these facilities. All the trash that's going to be generated by having 10,000 people in a building. They don't have the infrastructure. They would probably need, what, 1,000 dumpsters? 500 dumpsters? They don't have it. They need how many trucks? How many trash trucks? How many? They don't care. They are not about to be humane. Geo is about profits. They're not bringing in no doctors and nurses. You know how much money that cuts out of their profit? An on-site doctor, just one. You got to pay an on-site doctor for a whole year. You're gonna have to put him on the contract of at least probably 300 to 500,000. Every nurse that you want to put on the contract, they're probably gonna need you to pay them about 150 to 200,000. You cutting in the profits. You get in there, you're not getting any medicine. You're not getting any medical care. They don't care what preconditions you have. They don't care what medication you on. You got diabetes, you got a heart monitor, whatever the fuck you got going on before you come in there, they don't give a fuck. They not finna invest in no x-ray machines. They not finna invest in anything. I would be surprised if they even give any shots or medication at all. You probably won't be able to get a Tylenol in this bitch. You understand? This is dangerous, dirty work. And people are so busy being woke. People are so busy being woke and wanting to be right. Nobody's telling these people you need to leave. This shit is dangerous. These people are setting up a prison industrial complex, a deportation prison industrial complex. And once you are caught in, can't nobody save you. Nobody. Not your family, not no lawyer, not no US law. They're holding people for a year. You got to live like this for a year. They got this man crawling around because of his prosthetics in waste and feces, pissy and shitty. They are using the showers as a place to defecate because they don't have enough working toilets. They are using the showers as a place to pee. There's not enough facility infrastructure. They don't care. Anybody who actually cared about these people would tell them to leave. When you get in there, there's no more health care. They're not letting anybody in. All these representatives, right? The people who say, I care, I want to come in. The ICE is not responding. Homeland Security is going rogue. Homeland Security says, fuck you. Because they're all in it to win it. This is about profits. They are going to profit off of the deportation prison industrial complex. They are buying whole fucking facilities all across the country. Do you think that's for 6 months? Do you think it's going to end? Do you think it's for 9 months? Do you think they're going to stop? This is long-term infrastructure, y'all. They're buying the shit. They're not leasing it. I keep showing these because I want you to understand how integral that this is. This is the rise of ICE towns, right? ICE is taking over the private prisons. Gainesville, Georgia, Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, there are new Oakwood.
Okay, that's that one.
They
I'm
want
for the
to
Hall
kill me.
County. Hold on. Hold on.
Georgia has.
I know what I typed in the other day. Let me try to type in.
Over
I
the-
typed in Atlanta ICE. Atlanta ICE facility. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm Sharon Lawson, and
that's the one about
This morning,
Social Circle.
11
That's
Alive
the
News
one.
has confirmed plans for
We
a
got some more. Okay.
Immigrations and Customs.
Y'all see this? They're in College
Immigrations
Park,
and Customs
Atlanta.
Enforcement has expanded its footprint here in Georgia.
ICE has now confirmed with Fox 5 that the agency will, in fact, open a satellite office in College Park. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor has more on that.
The Southern Poverty Law Center says it is nervous about this new development. Now, ICE has told us that this will be an administrative satellite office, but the Southern Poverty Law Center says it can't help but think of those images we've all seen from Minnesota.
I think what the presence does is actually it stokes fear.
Seth Levy is the chief strategy officer for the Southern Poverty Law Center. He admits he is uncomfortable with the ICE expansion into College Park and an office building behind the Georgia International Convention Center.
It's fear and anxiety. We've seen what's been happening with ICE in other cities, notably Minneapolis, with the chaos, the terror that's been unleashed.
Now, y'all do understand when you bring these facilities into cities, every city they come in is going to attract protests. When those protesters come, they have the right to protest. Now you have to train your local police department. You're going to put a strain on the local police department. You're going to have to pay them overtime. You're going to have a budget, which is going to come out of taxpayers' money. You're going to have those officers trained to deal with crowd control. Social Circle has never probably had a protest in their life. They do not know. They're going to have to send their officers somewhere to get training to deal with crowd control. When these people start flooding that area, because it's going to be the largest facility in the whole Southeast, if not the United States, 10,000 beds out in a rural area. You got rural cops been working a quiet job, ain't never been in a shootout, a confrontation in their life. I know Social Circle cops very well. They got one little stop they sit at, which is an intersection that everybody comes through off of I-20, and that's where they do their work. They slow people down and write tickets. That's all they ever did in Social Circle. They ain't never been in no combat, no nothing. Okay, those cops are untrained. They just pull people over, nice people, and get them a ticket, and that's it. You about to bring hell on Social Circle. I'm really mad about it. I'm really getting mad about it. They're turning Georgia, my state, into a ICE capital. And I haven't even studied other states, okay? I haven't studied Texas. Texas is probably worse. California is probably even worse. But this is my state where I live, and I have connections to all of it. Georgia is my state. From Augusta to Athens to Savannah to Columbus to Savannah, Macon, North Georgia, the mountains. We all, Georgia people, we're all invested in all of this. We care about all of it. I care about Savannah. I care about Macon. I care about Augusta. I care about Athens. That's my hometown, right? My family, burials, our lives are tied to this. My husband's people are from Columbus, Georgia. All of my friends, we're all part of different parts of Georgia. We are invested in the whole fucking state. We care. We care about Atlanta. We care about North Georgia, where Marjorie Taylor Greene is from. We care about all of that. And you're going to have floods of people from the Southern Poverty Law Center and all these woke ass people out here not knowing the whole truth. They're going to come and descend on these small towns, and they are going to cost taxpayers money. Between the mail, they can't even handle the mail. I'm just saying, the mail, the trash, the infrastructure, the stress is going to put on the people, the protests, the police department, the local budgets. How are people supposed to deal with this? What you gonna do? You gonna build apartment complexes for these people? Because these ICE agents are not gonna be welcomed in these towns. I promise you that. You're gonna have to build facilities for your ICE agents because people are not going to be friendly to it. And I've been to social circle. They don't have no apartment complexes out there. People go out there and they build houses. These are families. They got houses with land on it. There's no apartment complexes. Are you going to build apartment complexes to house all your ICE workers? And I do believe that some of these people, you know, who are pro-Trump and pro-MAGA and hateful as fuck that live in the rural areas, I believe they will look at it and say, good, I can get a job for the federal government. They'll go work it. And that's partly why they might be out in the rural areas, because they know that they got these old backwoods, redneck, hateful ass motherfuckers who will keep the ICE facility employment roles full. No doubt. These are rural people, some of them, and they don't have opportunities like this. So when you tell Billy Bob, hey, Billy Bob, instead of you having some out there selling tomatoes or whatever fucking work you do, right? We got you a plushy job with the federal government. You got benefits for the first time in your life, Billy Bob, right? For the first time in your life, you're going to actually make $30. And we got a sign-on bonus for $2,000 for you to become an ICE agent and guard these immigrants, right? So you're going to have these rural ass rednecks that's going to take these jobs and they're going to keep this shit going. Then they'll become part of the infrastructure. You understand? This is the danger. This is here to stay. This is not going anywhere, y'all. This is here to stay. They are buying the building. They're not leasing the buildings. They are buying this shit. They got billions of dollars to spend. They are flat out buying these fucking buildings. This is evil. And if people really cared, excuse me. If people really cared about immigrants, you know what they would do? They would say, this is a setup. They about to fuck you and your family up. I'm looking for this Gainesville because I want y'all to see that they are setting up a child ICE facility. Let me finish this and I'm gonna look for it.
With, two protesters who have been killed. And that makes us, my organization, Southern Poverty Law Center, very worried. It is not something any of us want to see come here to College Park in the Atlanta metro area.
A spokesperson for ICE tells Fox 5 the office was needed because of recent increased hiring of ICE agents. The spokesperson says the lease has been signed, but the space has not yet been occupied. College Park's mayor, Bianca Motley Broom, had asked for more clarity and communication regarding ICE's arrival after she received numerous calls about the agency's presence.
We've all seen what happened over the last several days and over the last couple of weeks in Minnesota. My concern as mayor of the city of College Park is the safety of all of our residents.
Mayor Pro Tem Joe Karn says it is important that our federal partners treat everybody with dignity and respect. He tells Fox 5 this is concerning. Immigrants are a valuable part of our community and help make College Park stronger and more diverse. City leaders want residents to remain alert.
Stay watchful, stay vigilant in terms of looking out for.
Again, you bringing problems to College Park because now we're going to have a whole bunch of people once that opens. Now that mayor is going to have to deal with all the protesters. And then what's going to happen, she's going to have to bring in the College Park police, and the College Park police going to have to make a decision when Trump brings in the National Guard or he brings in the Border Patrol. Right here could be another situation, just like Minnesota. You got all these people in one city and they got a place to go to protest ICE right there in College Park. That's creating trouble. That's why she's on that's why this happened 3 weeks ago. This is why she is on the internet, because she is saying shit is about to break the fuck out. And we have so many situations we can see. I'm looking for the Gainesville one. Now watch this. This man details his time in detention center
over the
Georgia.
past few months, we have seen people around the country and here certainly in Georgia detained by ICE.
That's right. So just this week, we told you about a reporter here in Atlanta that was taken into custody during a protest.
And tonight, we are talking to a man who experienced what happens inside those facilities. He sat down with our Chase Howell to talk about that year he spent in confinement.
Y'all hear that? A year. They're not sending you home 2, 3 days, 4 days. They are taking people and holding them with no processing for a fucking year. Do you know how much free labor and work you can get out of how many people we got? What's that number? 14 million people. You rotate them around from Georgia. You just rotate them through Georgia, right? The more facilities they build, you rotate them through. Send them to Savannah, send them to Macon, send them to Statesboro, right? Send them on up here to Atlanta. Send them out there to Social Circle. You can work them each facility, you can keep them there for a year, right? And I haven't even gotten into the deeper parts. I may have to do a part 2 because I said I was going to limit this to an hour. But look at this.
Inside Nielsen Barona's bag are hundreds of pieces of papers pertaining to the time he spent at 2 ICE detention centers here in Georgia.
This is a trauma that I'm not going to have to live with the rest of my life.
Barona says he came to the States on a tourist visa from Honduras in 1999 when he was just 18.
Application for cancellation or removal and adjustment of status.
And while he was supposed to leave after a year, he stayed anyways.
So you're saying because your father was a United States citizen, your mother was a legal citizen, your son who was born here was a citizen, your wife was a citizen, you basically were a citizen even though you overstayed your tourist visa?
Well, what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that I was a citizen. What I'm saying is that I had the right to be here because of that. You know, there was no reason for me to be removed from the country. That's what I'm trying to point out.
Despite many of Barraona's family members being citizens, he was taken into ICE custody for overstaying his visa.
Now, see, what happened is he failed to have his paperwork in order. He has a son, a wife, parents who are all citizens. His individual paperwork was not correct. Do you think these people don't have technology? That's that third wave. You think they don't have technology to know who's out of status and who isn't? They don't give a damn about all that. If you have not changed your status and had because of your son and your wife and your family, if you haven't done the immigration paperwork, you are out of status. They can pick you up legally and put you out and deport you legally, right? And the only thing he could have done is started the process, right? Immediately. Have a lawyer start the process of having his wife apply for what is it called? A K1 visa, I believe. A K1. But at that point, you're in the hands of ICE.
In 2019, during the year he was in custody, he was taken to the embattled Irwin County ICE facility and then transferred to Stewart.
Y'all see that? That's what they doing. They moving them around. Now, how you gonna keep up with my health issues when you move me around like this from facility to facility? You just transport me like I'm a thing and not a person, right? What if I have diabetes? What if I got a heart issue? Does each facility have the ability to take care of my medical issues? They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about you. They don't care about your medication, making sure there's a pharmacy that's going to take care of you. They want you to damn die. You understand?
He says while there, he witnessed medical neglect, bad food, and forced labor.
We run detention centers. The inmates.
Forced labor. Y'all hear slavery?
The people inside. We are the ones that do the laundry. We are the ones that do the cleaning. We are the ones that do everything inside.
Just last month, we saw a Dalton College student taken into ICE custody after being pulled over. And ever since she's gotten out, she's sharing her experience of life inside the Stewart Detention Center on TikTok. This one talking about a pregnant woman whose baby died while inside the facility.
Everything that happened to her is very inhumane. How can you let somebody that has their baby dead inside of them wait so long to get professional assistance?
I've been reaching out to ICE about scheduling a tour of one of their facilities here in Georgia since February. Then when I made them aware of my story Thursday, I got an email from a spokesperson who says no one has been allowed in the detention facilities since January 20th.
Y'all hear that? Nobody's coming in. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody is coming in. I don't care, elected official, otherwise. Nobody's coming in. This is dangerous. Y'all see what they're doing? They are literally slaving people. If anybody really cared about these immigrants, they would be telling them, get the fuck out of here because can't nobody help you. Leave. And let me tell y'all why I mean that. When I say leave, I mean leave with your dignity intact. Okay? Leave with your dignity. Leave with your children. Leave with your family. Leave. Leave and come back. Leave. Like that man, he should have left and he know his wife is here and his daddy and his mama's here. Leave with dignity and go back where you came from and apply to come back with your K-1 visa, whatever that visa for marriage is. Don't do it like this. He lost a year of his life. Do you guys understand? Let's just say a man, a Latino man. Okay. I really want to find this ICE facility for children. This is the one they're building in Gainesville. Let me see if I can find it. I know I pulled it up the other day. This broke my heart. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Gainesville ICE facility, Georgia. This one broke my heart. I said this shit is about to get real nasty because they have
there are new safety concerns
just for
a beloved Georgia
just for
I'm sure Oakland
children.
officials in Hall.
We told you about that ICE detention facility and social
circle.
Over the past few months, we have seen people.
We reached out to every official that we knew to reach out.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on a.
Yes, sir. A North Texas man says his wife was arrested by.
Federal agents make these arrests. The government needs to find a place to.
Georgia has one of the.
Tonight at 9, money to fund the Department of Homeland Security is now on standby.
And it comes after Congress failed to pass a spending bill on Friday. Agents.
Y'all see that?
Joining me now, Washington Post
It
reporter
says
Jonathan O'Connell and
they
co-founder
plan to
and
spend
CEO of
$38
the
billion
Seneca
to turn
Project, Tara
warehouses.
Setmeyer. She is a former.
Let me pause that.
Joining me now, Washington Post.
They plan to spend $38 billion to turn warehouses into detention facilities. Y'all, this shit is not a joke. These immigrants are in trouble. They're in trouble. If you just paying attention, you see they're in trouble. There is too much money invested. Nobody, you and your picket signs, you and your whistles, they're popping up everywhere. There are certain states like Alabama. I've been on the phone with my friend she's actually getting funding to support the children through her nonprofit. She is getting funding to make sure that they try to help the children and the mothers that are left behind. Y'all understand how devastating this is in Alabama, in Tennessee, in Georgia. These southern states, Texas, they are not playing. The federal government has money to spend and they are investing for long term. It is not a fucking joke. These whistles and these protesters and their fucking stupid signs and all their chanting, that is bullshit. It's a waste of time. If people wanted to really organize for real, you would understand that this is not something that you on the street are going to make a difference. This is going to have to start in Congress. And Congress is co-signing the shit. The Democrats are co-signing this shit because they're invested in Geo. They're invested in the stocks. They're invested in the contracts. This shit is not going to stop at Congress. It's not going to start and it's not going to stop at Congress. The Democrats are part of it. They're part of it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Everything is acting and cosplay. These people have $38 billion. And I'm guaranteeing you, these crackers in Georgia, they are dedicated to getting as much as they can for this state. This is long-term infrastructure. Why does Georgia care about it? Why do the profiteers care about it? Because we got a lot of rural cotton. Okay? We got a lot of motherfucking peaches. We got a whole lot of motherfucking apples. We got a whole lot of fucking rice. I live in the city, but I know about my state. We got tobacco here. We got all kind of farms and agricultural investments here. We got we produce in Georgia. Guess what? The highest amount of chicken in the fucking world. Georgians love chicken. It's chicken wings every goddamn where. You go to a corner, everybody, my corner right here in my little neighborhood area, We got more than 20 different businesses on this one corner right here. Everybody literally sells fucking chicken wings. Wing and burger. Wings, wings, wings. We got wings. The Chinese people selling wings. Publix sells wings. Little Caesars sells wings. Domino's sells wings. Everybody sells wings. Motherfucking Zaxby's. Everybody is chicken crazy in this bitch. You got to sell wings in Georgia. Everywhere you go, you got to sell chicken. I literally, when I'm gonna drive around, maybe later on the day, and I'm gonna show y'all how much chicken this motherfucker generates. People in Georgia are addicted to fucking chicken. Do y'all understand? Out of the whole entire world, the state of Georgia produces more chicken than any other state. Understand? Who's processing that fucking chicken? I'm gonna tell y'all now, if you've been a Georgia person, everybody in your fucking family done work at a chicken poultry factory. You understand? A poultry plant. That's what they call it. Everybody on my fucking family on both sides has worked at a poultry. You ain't a Georgian unless you ain't, unless you highly educated. But if you rural and you from Georgia, your ass has worked at a poultry plant. This motherfucker makes all the chicken in the whole goddamn world. Tyson, all that shit. It's coming from Georgia. Who do they have working in the poultry plants, y'all? Majority now. Mexicans, Latinos, immigrants, people who are not legal is the majority of people they got working there. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, ICE ain't going up to the poultry plants and fucking with nobody. I promise you that. They not finna cut into them profits because most black folks and most poor people, they like, man, fuck that poultry plant. Fuck that place because it's nasty, it's stinking, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I didn't smell them trucks. You get on the highways, you see just trucks full of chickens, stinking, funky ass chickens. Georgia is a chicken state. We produce more chicken than anybody on the fucking planet. So I guarantee you that all this free labor, they're going to be trucking these people to poultry plants. I promise you it's going to happen. They are about to have an explosion in chicken production when this shit hits in April. What are they going to do with these people all day? You got a facility of 10,000 people. How do you get your profit? You're going to lease each of these motherfuckers out for $3 to $5 an hour. And the federal government is going to facilitate convict leasing to these poultry plants in Georgia. I already see this shit. I already know how this is going to work. I already know. We have a big company that's called McLane that comes in and out of Georgia, some kind of trucking company. A lot of people in Georgia have worked for McLane. What do? Loading and unloading. These people are going to be leased out for private industry, convict leasing. There's a lot of agriculture and a lot of factories and food processing plants that would be glad to pay $3 an hour to lease a Latino who knows how to work. Oh my God, y'all, this shit is insane. Georgia is benefiting off of this bullshit. Now listen.
Reporter Jonathan O'Connell and co-founder and CEO of the Seneca Project, Tara Setmeyer. She is a former GOP communications director. Welcome, both of you. Tara, for these Republicans, how do you balance the scales here? Is it more important to be in line with the president or support constituents and push back like those two that we heard there?
Well, when you have a president who's polling around 36% in a midterm election year, it's more important that you respond to your constituents' needs because they're the ones who actually have to cast a vote for you. This is the challenge that a lot of Republicans are facing right now because Donald Trump's agenda.
Do y'all see how they're trying to make this a Democrat Republican? This is a distraction. This is a distraction. This bitch right here, you know goddamn well that all of these facilities are bought. This is permanent infrastructure. Why are we talking about Democrat, Republican? Why are we having that conversation? Why are we not talking about the industries that are set up, the private prisons, and how they are setting up for long-term exploitation of free labor? Why is that not the conversation? You see what I'm saying? This mainstream media is full of shit. Why are we not talking about the real story, about the massive buying of real property? Why are we not talking about how people are overstepping the government? The federal government is overstepping local government and putting stress on local leaders and the communities, that there are not no facilities for these people to actually be okay, that there's no medical infrastructure, that you're just moving people around with no due process, that you guys are planning to exploit these people. You heard them, they say they're working for free. And we haven't even gotten to the convict leasing part yet. These for-profit organizations are running these prisons on contract, meaning they're already making money. And then they're going to make money on top of the convict leasing. I'm going to lease you to Tyson chicken facilities. And they're all around Georgia. They're not in one place, y'all. There are chicken processing facilities all around Georgia. Wherever there is a prison, I promise you there is a feeder business to pair with it. They're not moving these things in places where there's no profit to be gained. There's something there. If it's a lumber yard or if it's cattle ranch, there is some industry that plans to pull the convicts and lease them from the federal government for profit. I promise you. This is very strategic and it's long-term infrastructure. They are buying, not leasing, buying, not leasing. That tells you something. They're buying buildings outright. They are spending billions of dollars on these buildings, 38 billion. DHS plans to turn warehouses into detention centers, and that shit is popping up and it's opening up in April. That's 2 months from now, y'all. It's never gonna leave. It's not going anywhere. They bought it.
Is no longer popular. And in the piece written about what's happening here in this town, in this small town in Georgia, the constituents who voted for Donald Trump questioned their vote. They said, wait a minute, we didn't sign up for this. And I think there are a lot of Republicans across the country who are starting to realize that downstream, what Donald Trump is doing is impacting them. It was all good when it was, oh, it's okay if you go after those people or you do it somewhere else. But when it comes into their backyards, the byproduct of these policies, then people are starting to say, hold on a second, we don't like it. So this is something that's a challenge for Republicans, because Republicans used to be the party that didn't like the overreach of the federal government coming into states and localities and telling them what to do. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when Republicans were very upset about the Kelo case, when that came down back in 2005 about eminent domain and seizing private property. This is on a whole nother level when you have the government spending taxpayer money to create these detention centers, which are questionable in their humanity and their cruelty and even their constitutional efficacy here.
You don't have no rights. Let me just say it now. You don't have no rights. Once you cross that motherfucking threshold, you don't have no rights. You're done. You don't have any due process. You don't have anything. You don't have no medical rights. You don't have no labor rights. You're done. Everybody knows that. You're talking about a whole population of undocumented people.
Jonathan, you have new reporting on the DHS's $38.3 billion warehouse plan that is based off of documents provided to and posted by New Hampshire's governor. You note little information has been shared, though, by the Trump administration, and that's prompting concern from elected officials in the affected states. So,
all right, I'm gonna stop because I don't know if I'm gonna end up with a whatchamacallit. I don't know if I'm gonna end up with a copyright because I don't know how this shit works. I really want. I'm looking for the Gainesville. I'll have to just post that. I'll just post that link because I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I got to go. I got stuff I got to do. But this is the thing I want to get to. I'm going to go ahead and close this up because I'm at 1 hour and 20 minutes. I meant to do it for an hour. So let me close this out. Let me remove this. This is what I want to say. This is devastating to understand that right now they're building the infrastructure, they have the support, they have the money, they have the might of the federal government behind them. No whistles, no. And I just wish these white people would actually organize and stop being fucking stupid. That because at this point, it's not even about immigration to me. This is about humanity. It's about humanity. It's one thing when you pick up people and you say, okay, we're going to put you on a plane and we're going to get you up out of here. I support that. If you're illegal and you're not supposed to be here and you say, okay, we're going to pick you up, take you to a processing place, and we're going to make sure that we document who you are. And within a week, we're going to put you on a plane and send you back to your country. I don't have no problem with that at all. Because I know if I go into somebody else's country, I have to leave when they tell me to leave, and I can't come in without them letting me come in. That's a fact. Every country has to have a immigration laws, and you have to respect it. But this is something different, y'all. This is something different. I want to present a couple of things that can go left, go all the way left. We already have, I'm not even going to show the scene, But there is documented where we have ICE. No, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. Let me pull it up because it's seeing is believing. You have an ICE agent who has decided that he's going to basically human traffic a person he detained. Okay, let me just pull that up. ICE agent arrested. Let me see if this is it. He is arrested because
Are you Haitian?
he has decided.
This is the most disturbing arrest. This is the most disturbing arrest.
New federal investigation.
Nobody's that. He decided that he was going to.
Breaking news out of Fort Worth.
Y'all see this?
United States ICE. Right now at 4:30,
these people out of control. They just
This
hired
evening-
anybody for ICE.
This is the most disturbing arrest that we've had here. He is a bad
things happening right now inside of.
This is the most disturbing arrest that we've had. Next, this one shames.
To forego bond in this case.
According to federal investigators, Andrew Golovic has gone to great lengths to mask his criminality. The former
When he was arrested, he said, "I'm Ice Boy."
United States ICE agent in Hamilton.
Domestic
Senator Reporting, we're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here.
ICE is also under fire after detaining a U.S.
All right, guys, we got to talk about this. So we got some more ICE horror stories here. Look at this. All right, guys, we got to talk about this. So we got some more ICE horror stories here. Look at this. ICE officer admits to sexually assaulting detainee for 3 straight months.
Geo.
Holy shit.
Geo.
Let's listen to this.
I'm
Here we
done.
go.
I ain't got to
The
say
South
more.
Louisiana-
Geo. He is assaulting a person for 3 months. Okay. And then we have a situation. Oh, what's up, Don? Hey, how are you? You know someone who did that in New York City? What's up? What's up? So this is one. There's another officer who has been arrested because he took a detainee and said, "Hey, you stand to the side. I'll take you to my crib and you can stay with me and you can serve me." So he didn't enslave the woman already. We got these ICE agents are not trained. They don't give a fuck. They've been given the ability to do anything to anybody. And what you're saying is that you're going to allow people to come into these facilities. Everything is unchecked. Okay. You got racists that have been recruited. You got people who are sadistic and evil. They are killing people. 40 people so far have been killed in ICE detention centers in their custody. Let me say this. I'm going to paint a picture because I'm going to end the stream because I don't want to go on for too long. But this is bad. You have these evil, angry, undocumented individuals who are being hired with no standards, who have been given a license to do anything and get cover. You have facilities that are being built that have no infrastructure, no ability to take care of the people medically or otherwise. These are going to be inhumane. These people are going to be treated worse than animals in these places. They're going to get sexually assaulted and abused. People are going to get killed. They're going to disappear. We have a whole undocumented population that is about to be recruited and forced into slavery and convict leasing programs. And I think it's going to get really nasty because I believe what they're going to end up doing is they're going to tell people to sign, whether they understand what they're signing or not. I think they're going to sign them contracts to labor. I think they're going to lease them out and say, you sign away your due process rights, and you are going to go to a labor camp, a farm, a plantation, some agricultural industrial place off the fucking grid, and we're going to move you around from Georgia to Missouri. I think they're going to offer them these contracts, and you have a possibility to have a new slate when you get done serving the federal government for 3 years. You sign away your due process. I think people out of desperation to stay will absolutely, and being ignorant and maybe even not having the ability to understand English clearly, will sign away their rights I think that's going to be part of the plan. I'm just thinking like these evil motherfuckers. I haven't seen any evidence of this, but it makes sense to me. Like sharecropping, right? Nothing's new under the sun. So I want you to see you got these ICE facilities manned by untrained, uncaring, hateful people. There's no regulations about labor, no regulations about medicine. Okay? No facilities, nothing that is going to sustain healthy life is in these places. Nobody can come in, nobody can check. ICE's non-responsive Department of Homeland Security says we don't answer, we don't owe anybody anything, and nobody's going to check us. There is a GEO, among other companies, who is here to make profit. They're going to turn these people into sex slaves. And when they open up these children facilities for those parents who did not leave, and your children are caught up in ICE, God only knows what's going to happen to these children. They may decide these children are wards of the state. They may end up putting them into foster care. They may end up taking these undocumented children into a different type of slavery, shipping them off, losing track of them. Some of these children may end up being uneducated, deteriorating mentally, emotionally without their parents. They may become sexually abused. Nobody can come in the facility. Nobody can check these people. Those who are pedos will absolutely apply for the jobs at these children ICE facilities. Nobody's checking. Nobody cares. These children will be sent off into slavery of different forms. They will be exploited. They are setting up facilities for children that are standalone without parents, y'all. Right here in Gainesville. They are going to exploit all these undocumented, blank-faced children without their parents. Whatever happened to those kids when they had them in cages down in south of the border? Whatever happened to those kids? Nobody ever found them, right? Let me tell y'all how dangerous this is. This is very upsetting to me. I usually don't get too serious. It's one thing to put a motherfucker on the plane within a week or two and send them back home, right? That's that I support. It's another thing to create a whole evil ass industry of deportation, prison industrial complex that everybody from the Democrats to the Republicans, local, state, and everybody is fucking invested in. And everybody's playing fucking dumb that they don't know it's coming. Give me a fucking break. You saw that woman's on the street and she said she knew it was coming, but the mayor don't know. And y'all claim that the Department of Homeland Security ain't talking to y'all. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. They spending billions of dollars right beneath your nose and you don't know. Get the fuck out of here. Get the whole fuck out of here. The Democrats are invested. I want y'all to know that. Don't be stupid. The Democrats are just as invested as Republicans are. And if anybody cared for real, if they really cared about immigrants, they would tell them. They would hand them pamphlets door to door. They'd be going to these communities of immigrants, documented and undocumented, and they would say, listen, our country has a plan to turn your population into 14 million slaves. We're going to rotate from state to state within the state, and it will be years before you get free. You will be exploited. You are going to be an undocumented, nameless, bodiless form that is going to work for free. You are going to be new slaves. Take your dignity and run. You'll be better off going to Mexico, El Salvador, wherever the fuck you came from. Go now with your dignity. Go ahead, take your money and put it in Western Union and send that shit back. Go ahead, buy you an apartment, a house, whatever you got. Cut your losses. You can come back. But right now, this is not the time. Y'all can't love America this much. Y'all immigrants cannot love America this much when they take your little children and they put them in facilities. They got the wife in one facility, the husband in the other. They break up and separate the whole family. They're coming for you. They got all the technology and the manpower and the money they need. They are coming for you. They're going to have you there for years with no due process. They're going to work the fucking shit out of you through GEO and these private prisons. They are going to turn you into a slave. They're going to move you around every fucking 6 months. So nobody can keep track of you. You are undocumented. They don't have no website where you can type the person's name in and say, hey, where are they at? Where's their status? Do they have a lawyer? Are they? You can't talk to nobody. Your family can't come see you. You are dead to the world once they put them handcuffs on you and you go into that facility. Nobody is checking for you. There's nothing to be done. They won't put you on a plane and send you home. They're going to keep you as a slave. I'm telling y'all, this shit's getting dirty. It's getting nasty. They're spending cash dollars to convert $38 billion worth of real estate into detention centers. And it's happening in Georgia, and they're opening all of that shit up in April. Y'all, it is about to turn 10,000 people. That means they're going to be doing ICE raids around the clock. Y'all, I went to a whole Latino community the other day, and I've been wondering why they're so quiet. Why is it so quiet in Georgia? Oh, they're building the infrastructure, and then the action comes. They about to rotate these people. That's what they do. If you follow the situations of people who've been through it, they rotate you from one to another to another. They're doing this in Alabama. They're doing this in Texas. They're doing it in Georgia. They're doing it in Tennessee. And they are not going to stop. This is a permanent new industry. And if you cared about people, if you really, really cared about immigrants, you stop the rhetoric and you be spending time organizing, telling these people to go home because we can't save you. Not a representative, not a state governor, not a nothing, no mayor, nobody. Everybody's fucking playing powerless. Okay. When they put the handcuffs on you, your family's done. Imagine that. Imagine right now if somebody came and took, you got 4 children, they're in school, you're illegal. They come for the husband first. They know the wife is illegal. They got all the information. Understand? Don't let the federal government fool you. They don't know this. No, they know everything. They know every fucking thing. They got data for days. Okay? They got AI on 10. They know exactly everything. That AI probably spits out the kids go to this school. They in so-and-so's class. That AI they got, it probably tell them everywhere you work. It's got a whole fucking report on your ass. I wouldn't be surprised if they could take your GPS and know which goddamn grocery store you go to. They can pull all your data from your damn phone. They know your routines, your rituals, what you drive, what your car look like. They got it all. In live time, they know your phone, your GPS, where you at. They got you, boo. You not getting away. It's just a matter of time. They playing nice right now. They ain't pulled out the big guns yet. You understand? So what I'm telling y'all is this is a dangerous cat and mouse game. And if you love and you care about these immigrants, you would tell them to leave, because once they get caught up in this long-term investment, prison industrial deportation complex, there is no end game. There's none. They are nameless, floating through facilities from one to the next, undocumented, faceless, numberless slaves. People can do whatever they want to do to you, your wife, your children once you get caught up. And then we haven't even talked about the reckoning. The reckoning. Think about this now locally, statewide. Who gets the benefits of these abandoned homes and everything in them? These abandoned bank accounts. I'm just asking. An immigrant owns a home. Let's say they don't own the home, everything in it. Somebody's got to put the stuff out when they're gone. They're not paying rent no more. Who's getting the televisions? Who's getting the clothes? Who's getting all of the stuff that these people have accumulated? Who's getting their vehicles? Where is that going? Who's going to benefit from that? Are they going to go on auctions? The liquidation of the assets of the immigrants. Let's talk about that. Does that belong to the facility where you ended up? Do they get to auction off your things? Do they get to confiscate all of your assets to pay for your imprisonment? I got questions here. You got equipment, lawn care services, dump trucks. Oh, these immigrants have plenty of equipment for their industry, right? A lot of them have businesses. Who's taking the assets? Who's liquidating them and who profits? These are questions we need to ask. Real live money and assets. Who is going to take those things? Is there a agenda set up for that? Right? Or am I going to be one of them people? I'm just saying, for example, could I be somebody who signs up for a contract of liquidation? Is that a new industry too? For every immigrant, you want to clean the whole house, right? Get the mom, the dad, the kids, get them out into the plantations, right? The detention centers. And now we got a house to raid. It's my job to take all this stuff and liquidate it. They got a business, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to liquidate it, right? Do I give it to the state? Do I give it to the local jurisdiction? Who is going to profit from the liquidation of the assets of the illegal and detained immigrants once they are taken to detention centers? Who gets to liquidate their assets? Who gets to keep their house, right? Who is charged with that? This is some deep shit. This shit goes deep, y'all. Let me say this. These people, imagine how there's no mental health. You know how many suicides there will be? You lock up a man, he has a wife, and he has 3 children. Can't communicate, can't get visits, right? Your home, everything you work for is gone. It's done. You can't work, you're losing your job, you're losing your way of life. Major setback. You're not getting out no time soon. Now, either your wife gets detained or she doesn't, but she's out here struggling on her own one way or another. Maybe the kids are separated. You don't know who's doing what to your kids. You don't know where your kids are. You don't know where your wife is. Y'all can't communicate. You can't see your children. You got a brand new baby in ICE facility being treated however. Think about that. Think about these toddlers. They can't even remember their parents. Maybe by the time they get out. Think about that. Think about these people. These are real people. Think about how you would feel if somebody take your 1-year-old and they put them in a facility with strangers. And you don't know if they're eating, if they're crying, if they're distressed. You don't get to know because you're in a detention center under somebody else's control. You in a detention center, your wife is in a separate detention center, your children are in a different detention center. You don't know what's going on with anybody. Man, that shit would drive somebody crazy. Let's think about people like humans, right? Not just something you blow whistles for. Not something you just ran and rave on the internet about. Not just a letter you sent to your representative. Let's think about real people. ICE came to their house and took them and separated them, and they are in facilities in inhumane conditions. And different people got different medical issues, and you already know the demise and deterioration is going to come when people don't get their treatment. You got kids that are on epileptic treatments. If they don't have their treatment, they'll have an epileptic seizure, right? You got people who are on heart medication. Without that, their blood pressure is going to go higher, higher until they have, and you add the stress. Heart attacks, right? You got women who are, pregnant. You got people who got all kinds of stuff, diabetes. You got people who need their medication and they're not going to get nothing. Nothing. Nobody cares. You're not getting no medical treatment. So that in of itself is inhumane. And all the conditions and not being able to bathe, human contact, being able to know your family is okay. You're not getting no communication. You're not getting nothing. Nourishment. These people are eating trash. They say they get the worms in the food. The food is dirty. The food is nasty. It's moldy. It's decayed, right? People would leave. They would tell them to leave with your dignity intact. America ain't all that. Leave with your dignity intact. Take your family with dignity and pride. Don't let them drag you out and turn you into a slave. This is what people who really care, if the Democrats really care, they'd be walking through these streets and giving pamphlets and telling these people, leave with your dignity. Don't be a slave. This is something we can't stop. We can't control it. We can't regulate it. When you get in ICE, we can't do shit for you. We're sorry. But the best thing we can tell you to do is preventative. Just leave. Leave now. Save yourself. Don't look back. That's what you would do if you actually cared about immigrants. All these whistles and these fucking stupid, that's some woke white bullshit. The truth is that can't nobody help you. Not a lawyer, not a judge, not nothing. Nothing is going to stop this prison industrial deportation complex. Nothing. The money and the might of the U.S. government and the cosign of the Democratic Party is right there together. Tell me why the Democrats are not saying this is a machine we can't stop. This motherfucker's in charge for 3 years. He ain't turning back. Why can't they tell them the truth? Why can't they tell the immigrants the truth? We can't stop it. We can't even go in the facilities. We can't help you at all. We can't force them to allow you through due process. We can't force them to make you leave. Good morning. Hey, what's up, Woo? Why aren't they telling them the truth? We are powerless. They are buying these buildings by the dozen. They are going to fill them before the summer. And you might be part of it. Just leave. Why are they not being honest? I am telling you, I am wholeheartedly with the idea of picking up people who are legal, putting them on a plane within a week or two, and sending them back home. I'm with that. But this right here is some evil fucking shit. They are creating a permanent slavery and sexual exploitation class. These women are going to be raped. I promise you. It's already happening. That's going to be part of the culture. Your wife, if you are illegal, she's going to be raped. Your children, they're going to be subject to some shit you've never seen. You're going to be, the mental health of these people once they get in these facilities is going to be terrible. You're about to traumatize a whole 14 million, y'all. 14 million people. 14 million. If they cared about immigrants, you know what they do? They would have these, they'd have a damn QR code and they'd say, call here by 2020, call here within 24 hours and get you a plane, free ticket for you and your family. Here's the QR code. The government is paying for you to leave. And they're going to give you $3,000. This is what you would do if you actually cared about these people. Because their health and the slavery, they're rotating these people through these facilities. The people are telling you who've been through it. They're rotating them here 6 months. Then you go to this one for 6 months. And they're working the shit out of them. Private industry, the releasing convict. Let me just tell you, I'm going to get done. And I'm overwhelmed with emotion here. But sex trafficking, selling children, slavery, rotating people through systems that will last years and years with no due process, convict leasing. They're going to liquidate these people's assets. They're going to lose everything they ever had, vehicles, this, that, jobs, the home, everything in the home. The children will be dispersed. And let me tell you the darker part of this, because people who like profit, they don't give a fuck about evil shit. You understand? So some of the things that could happen, how this could go left, they could very well lease some of these people out to what? Pharmaceutical companies for what? Experimentation, human trials. Yes, they will do that. They might even lease people out, right? And use medical sterilization, okay? For depopulation. Y'all hear me? Is that something new? Sterilizing people? Forced sterilization, forced abortions. That shit's not, it's not beyond them. It's not beyond them. Having pharmaceutical companies come in, different organizations come in and run experiments on people. Whoa, I wonder how we can develop a new cancer drug. Let's inject some of these random ass undocumented people with some cancer cells and see what happens. Tuskegee Institute experiment. Do I need to say more? They're going to experiment on these people. Maybe some of these pharmaceutical companies and some of these bioweapon, right, contractors. I wonder if we, use this type of gas on these people. What will happen? I wonder, they're going to do experimentation with the Department of Defense on these people. Real live experiments. Yeah. And it'll be undocumented. Nobody will know. They'll be using people for experimentation for the Department of Defense. They'll be using people for experiments for medical, and psychological testing and all kinds of shit. They'll lease your ass to any other country. They can lease your ass away, right? They can send you to slavery in any country they want. You're still under American jurisdiction. They can lease your ass out for sex. They can do all kinds of shit because you're an undocumented person and they don't have to answer to nobody. They don't have to say where you are, when you're there, how long you've been there. They don't have no fucking database with your name in it, where you at and what's happening. They don't have no family visitation. They said nobody comes into the ICE facility, not elected officials, not nobody. Nobody's coming in this motherfucker. Y'all ain't gonna know. We could say they here and they dead. We could say they here and they somewhere else. Y'all, these people are going to do some very dangerous things. And I'm not with none of it. And Georgia is going to be capital of it. I can see it between Texas and Georgia. We're going to be the capital of this shit. It's really fucking sad. Maybe California too. And this is the other thing I thought about. These prisons for profit, what will stop them from harvesting organs from these people? What will stop them? Do you know how many people would pay on the global scale for a new liver? Y'all know? A kidney, a heart transplant. This shit can get dark. Not only human trafficking and sex trafficking and prostitution and sex exploitation, these are all possibilities. We got people that's showing they can do this shit and get away with it already. They can kill you and it be undocumented. It's your fault. Don't nobody know what happened to you. You're not dead. They just still working you. There's no answers here for anybody. If people really cared about these immigrants at this point, they would tell them to leave. Take your pride, take your dignity, and get the fuck out of here because America ain't all that. It ain't worth it. You might never see your kids again under this system because nobody has answers and they don't owe you shit. You have no rights, no labor rights, no human rights. You don't have anything once you get in that facility. Please go home with your dignity. This is what people would be doing. They would be going to these people and they would be showing them this is a train that has left the station. They are buying millions and billions of dollars worth of property for a long-term investment in your slavery because you are undocumented and you don't have any rights once you get in there. They're not answering questions. You, your children, your family, everything you work for is about to turn into a hell state. You are going to end up in hell. Warn these people that are going to end up in hell if they can't prove that they are citizens. Tell these people the truth. This shit is inhumane what the Democrats are doing because they are not raising the flag. They need to be stopped talking about what Republicans are doing and Trump and MAGA. Tell these people, leave and run for your lives. Leave Sodom and do not turn back. Leave Sodom and do not turn back. This is the thing that should be said. If anybody has any compassion for these motherfucking undocumented people, because we see all the evidence that once you get in there, no whistle, no motherfucking stupid ass poster, nothing screaming, yelling, protesting, it's not changing shit. These motherfuckers are buying billions of dollars for the long-term investment of the slavery of 14 million people. And it's a new industry and nobody wants to talk about it. It's fucked up, y'all. It's fucked up. I'm with it. Put people on planes and send them home in 5 days. I'm with that. But this right here, this is some evil shit. Epstein ain't gonna have shit on this, okay? You're talking about Holocaust. This is a fucking Holocaust. This is a fucking Holocaust. Ain't nobody signing up for that. Ain't nobody really, unless you got profits from Geo and all the rest of them. We're not signing up for that. The public don't sign up for that. Unless you just got hate in your heart for people of color. You're not going to support this. But do you think the profiteers, the government, right? Do you think they give a fuck? They're about to make money. I've already told y'all, go look at the stock investment for Geo and all these private prisons. This shit is about to be 10 times worse than Epstein. 10 times worse. 10 times more evil than anything them people have done. Cannibalism. They got incinerators. They just talked about that yesterday. What are incinerators for? You think you're going to get a decent burial? Your family's going to be notified when you die or something happens to you? You think they're going to, hey, grandma, we just want to let you know, little Johnny. No, they're not. They're not. It would be a mystery for years what happened to you. There are people, 4,000 right now, who have been in ICE custody and can't nobody find them. 4,000 people. How do you disappear 4,000 people? No. How do you legally disappear 4,000 people? This shit is right in our faces. It's right in our faces. And they're turning Georgia taxpayers, they're turning all these different states into a whole new nasty, evil ass detention center, private prison, slavery, fucking industrial complex. It's sick, y'all. And it's going to be out of sight, out of mind. It's going to be in rural areas. Nobody's going to see it. So everybody's going to tick along like nothing's happened. It's going to become normal. Years and years, 14 million people. We got to just go through them, pour through them, man. If people cared about these immigrants, they would tell them leave. They're going to harvest your fucking, they can go in and take out your liver and sell that motherfucker for $50,000. They can take out your damn kidney left, kidney right, $50,000 a piece. There are people who will pay for undocumented people's organs. This might be all it is an organ fucking harvesting fucking facility. That could, why? Why would you put 10,000 people in a fucking warehouse? What are you doing? What are you doing? This could be nothing but straight organ harvesting. You know how much people pay for organs on the dark market? Shit. Each person is worth $200,000. You can harvest eyes, hearts, lungs. You can transplant any fucking thing. You hear me? Livers. Everything is for fucking sale in the black market. There are a lot of sick people waiting on wait lists. I had a friend this past year died waiting for a fucking kidney. He died waiting for a kidney on a list. People are waiting on lists, but there are wealthy people, right? There are lots of wealthy people who will buy organs. Organs worth a lot. I mean, you got to be dead, but they're worth a lot. And if somebody has access to just a whole bunch of human beings, right? They got access to all these organs. Shit. They look, y'all better watch out for some new angel donations, right? That they love to call stuff angel organ donations. A new facility pop up, a new nonprofit or for-profit pop up talking about angel organ donations. Watch out for it now. That could be a whole new industry. America becomes known for harvesting fucking organs. Okay? You got undocumented people. Well, you care so much. I tell you that that's one thing about me, y'all. I like the real. I like the raw. I like the real. I like the raw. I don't like pretending. I really don't. I don't like pretending. I don't like it. I don't like people putting on shows. We're gonna pretend we care about immigrants. We're gonna blow whistles. We're gonna do this. You're not gonna do shit. You're not even trying to see the reality of what is sitting before you. You're not trying to see the whole long-term spectrum because that's not the part you want to do. You just want to be seen on TV. You want to make spectacles. You want to lessen your white guilt, right? You don't actually want to help people save themselves with dignity and pride. You don't actually care about that. You don't actually care about keeping immigrants, people, families intact. You don't actually care about that. You care about looking good. Looking like the good people, right? I want to look white and righteous. White, woke, and righteous. That's what I want to do. I want to put on public displays. I'm gonna pretend like this whole system, because I'm not finna sit here and fight this shit long term, right? I just gotta make my mark for a moment, get my name in the paper. I gotta show them dragging me off, and I can brag how I got arrested by ICE. Now I'm done. I got what I wanted. Thank you. Y'all know what? We're black. It ain't our fight. This is time for white people to have a reckoning with white people. That's what this is about. They have to reckon with their own conscience. They did and created all of this. It's not our fight. White people are going to have to fight their own conscience. White people are going to have to fight their own profiteering. White people are going to have to fight their own playing with reality, right? White people are going to have to fight their own soul. They're going to have to expose who they really are on the left and the right. Because the time is going to come, we're going to look back over this and we're going to see this nasty, evil ass thing they've created and co-sign creating, pretending they didn't help, pretending they did all they could. We're going to have a time, we're going to have a moment of reckoning. We're going to say, wow, look what you did to these people. We're going to say, wow, look at this Holocaust, this immigrant Holocaust, because they're not sending people back home. They're not. That was phase one. We're in phase two. They're building long-term slavery, plantations, and warehouses. They're going to do whatever they want to do with this 14 million people. They're going to do whatever they want to do, however they want to do it, rotating them through a slave system over years and years. At some point, we're going to have to look back and we're going to have a day of reckoning. And we're going to have to look at the role that everybody played. And nobody's going to be able to say, I blew a whistle and it meant something. Nobody's going to be able to say, I stood out there with my sign and that was enough. I posted a lot of shit on TikTok, right? People call me a racist because I see what is. I see a whole race of people who co-sign evil ass shit and destruction constantly. And some people of color are fooled because they smile and say, I care about you. If white people, if Democrats actually cared about these immigrants, y'all hear me well, they'd be pouring through immigrant communities and they'd be telling them, warning them that April, May, June, and July, they're about to fill hundreds of facilities with thousands of bodies, and it might be yours. And we can't help you. We can't save you once you get in. So leave now, intact with your dignity. That's what love looks like. That's what compassion looks like. And until I see white people going through immigrant communities and telling these people, I love you, but I love you better in your country where you're safe with your dignity and not caught up in this trap of profit. Until I see them do that, they co-signing the evil and they probably in it for profit. I say.